All right, hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. I'm going to talk about Bitcoin here in 1 second, but really haven't shown you guys my website. I do have a website. I want to walk you through this a little bit, what I'm trying to do here. So, I've gotten pretty big on YouTube here recently, and there's a lot of people asking me about my style and my information if I have trading courses. Well, I'm doing just that. So I've set up real-crypto.com. Maybe you guys have been there, maybe you haven't. Take a minute and check it out. I've got training courses, I've got one webinar up there, and we do have a Slack chat room, so you can go ahead and check these three things out. Also, I have a newsletter that I'm putting out here. I'm going to do the inaugural one this Friday. I'm not sure if it's going to be weekly or bi-weekly, but it's going to be filled with more definitive information. When I do things sometimes in print, it's a little easier for me. So go ahead and check that out. And you can also check out our trading courses, which these are actually not quite live yet, but I do have the syllabus of the courses up. You can check those out here. You can look at all the different things that we're going to be covering in these courses. And we also do have a webinar for sale. Our Market Cycles webinar had rave reviews on this. This has been out now for a few weeks. 2 hours and 45 minutes answering a lot of questions. It's some really good content there. So check out this website, guys. I really don't plug my stuff very much, but I'm going to get more active with that. And thank you for bearing with me there. So what I want to talk about here is a pattern in Bitcoin that I really just saw a little bit ago. And I'm really excited about it. I hope it plays out. It may not. It's just theory at this point in time, okay? But check it out. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to be excited about it. And if it plays out, I think it could make a lot of people a lot of money. Okie dokie. Here we go. So this last top that we had today off this massive volume here, and with the subsequent drop a day or two ago, we have the makings of a potential head and shoulders pattern here, okay? Potential head and shoulders pattern. Now, based off this drop, we have a bit of a symmetrical triangle, which we broke down through right here, okay? Had a little bit of a weird triangle down here, and it did break to the downside. We're coming up. We're testing this. We're testing the break of this trend line. Hopefully it fails. I actually hope it fails this time. And that would take us down to 10.3. That would take us down to about 10.3, which is kind of where this trend line is, okay? So going back out here, that would take us down to 10.3. This would give us a nice potential for a neckline, bouncing up into this shoulder, and then from this shoulder area, dropping down below the head and shoulders, which would take us down to 9,000. Now, if you know anything about a head and shoulders, you can actually infer a target here, and I'm kind of just inferring this here down to 9,000. There's no specific level here, not yet. This hasn't even played out. This head and shoulders is still theory. So head and shoulders don't always play out, guys. You know this. You know chart patterns fail. But if this plays out down to 9,000, what that sets us up for is the case for an inverted head and shoulders, a very broad head and shoulders pattern with a target of 18,000. So you go from 9,000 to 18,000. We just had a 100% move in Bitcoin. Can we get another 100% move in Bitcoin? That is possible. Bitcoin likes to do these things. It likes to repeat itself. It's a big repeat machine. I've said that time and time again. I'd be so excited if this plays out. We've seen big broad head and shoulders in Bitcoin before as well. This big broad head and shoulders, if you do the analysis, which I'm not going to do, you actually get down to 6,000. You get down to 6,000. I went back through my videos and I put out a lot of videos, so I didn't catch the exact analysis here, but I thought once I pinned Bitcoin at 6,000 based off this head and shoulders pattern, but I couldn't find it, so I don't know if that's exactly for sure. Also, if you go over here, when we get towards Bitcoin 5,000, you have a big head and shoulders here, which implied Bitcoin 3,000, which played out almost exactly. And by the way, I have a video about that too. So these things tend to play out in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a lot of fun to do technical analysis on. It tends to rhyme really well, and these targets tend to play out. So is this going to play out? Guys, I don't know, but man, would it be fun if it did. And there's a case for it. I've got a case for every leg of this move, and we'll see if it happens. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, send me a Bitcoin as you make money along the way. Donation address is below. Okay? But here's the case for 100%. You couldn't have said that Bitcoin was going to go from 6,000 to 12,000, but here's the case for 9,000 to 18,000. And something else that this sets up is something that I've been mulling over the past couple of days, and I haven't done a video on it. So with this, it kind of leads itself into this scenario. Bitcoin from 20,000 to 6,000 has seemed a little bit less like the Bitcoin of 2013, okay? And it seemed to me a little more like the Ethereum of mid-2017. So I'll let you acclimate a minute into the Ethereum chart here. We have a high at 420 over here in June, and then a low over here in July, with a subsequent almost a parallel rise here, kind of a V pattern back up into the highs, and then it failed again, and then you know the story, went sideways and continued higher. Maybe Bitcoin, maybe Bitcoin does something similar to this, right? Bitcoin goes from 20,000 down to 6,000, up to 18 plus, something like that, and then comes down and then continues higher. It's hard to say exactly how it's going to work out, especially because this inverted head and shoulders pattern is just a fledgling theory at best at this point in time. But you can see a path forward now, and that's something that Bitcoin's been lacking, is a path to the upside. I've been looking at a few technical analysts. I don't follow too many people on YouTube. I'm too busy with my own stuff. But the guys that I have seen just really struggle with what happens here. What does this lead us to? Because we've been in this channel in Bitcoin. I've had this top trend line on my chart since this top. I've had this trend line for a long time. And we've been struggling with what to do with Bitcoin up here. And I think you have a path forward now that is feasible and viable, and has a decent percentage of playing out. So you have a technical path to the upside in Bitcoin now. So there you go. What do you guys think? Leave me some comments. I want to know if you guys think this can play out, if you think this is all conjecture and BS, or if you think it actually could play out. Take a look at it for yourselves. Leave some comments below. I'm really curious what you guys think. All right, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for this. I appreciate the time you spend with me every single day. So thank you very much, and I will see you guys next time.